Hello YouTube, NIPrepper here. It has been quite a while since my last video. It's 7 months, which is pretty crazy, but there's a really good reason for that. And more or less what has happened is I'm no longer in Northern Ireland. I'm actually in England, Kent, the Garden of England. It's my new home. I've been here since August, and really I've just been trying to get my act together, get settled into a new job, new career in fact, and it's really been a very busy time for me. Even before I moved over, there was so much preparation I had to go through that it didn't really leave a lot of time for me to head out and do my bushcraft videos, which is a great shame. I take a lot of pride in my videos, and everyone that's been watching them has been so supportive and helpful with their comments and subscriptions, which I really do appreciate. And I feel guilty that I haven't been able to get those videos out as much as I wanted. And really what I'm doing with this video is I'm back, and I'm just going to try and do my videos as much as possible because but living in Kent, it's really a really interesting area, and I don't really know it that well at all yet. I haven't really explored the woods and things like that much at all. In fact, I haven't been in any forests bar one, which technically was private land, and I was there for a special event rather than just exploring. And really, the forests here are beautiful. They're like broadleaf forests, which for me, coming from Ireland, is quite unusual because most of what we have is pine forests and things. There, where I was normally going was a mixed woodland, but I mean most of the woods down here are all sort of ancient woodland, kind of oak and things like that, which will be a really interesting experience compared to what I'm used to, which is having that softwood pine, which is great for getting fires going, whereas down here we don't really have as much of that. I'm sure there are some pine forests, but I haven't really looked. And the one thing that I really like here is that there's there's more rivers, and at least it seems to be that there's more rivers. And one thing I'll be looking at doing is maybe getting a kayak and going up and down one of the rivers near me. And well, that's it really. I mean, that's the update. Just letting you know where I am. I'm now in England. I'm still NIPrepper, obviously. I've got my flag here. I'm very proud of where I'm from, and more or less I'm just going to be continuing my videos as though I'm just a Northern Irish guy in England. It doesn't really change anything really, apart from the scenery. And it's interesting because I'm really out of my comfort zone, as it were, because I don't know any of the forests, so it'll be like almost like an adventure in a sense, because I'm exploring things, I'm discovering things that I've never experienced before. This forest is different. The wildlife, there just seems to be a much more abundant types of wildlife than what we would get in Ireland. I mean, Ireland has quite limited amounts of animals really, if you think about it. I think it's only like 28 or something wild species. It's really, in terms of mammals, it's really not that diverse at all, whereas here it does seem to be a wee bit more, especially Kent. Kent, my goodness, it's just so rural, which is something I really like. I like the fact that there's so much countryside and woods and things like that. And I think, well, one of the biggest woods in Kent is actually just around the corner from me. It's about maybe 10-12 miles, and that's Blean Wood, or Blean Forest. I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm really looking forward to going out and visiting that at some point. And actually tomorrow I'll be heading out for a little walk in one of the nearby forests. I'm not really sure which one yet, but just going to have a recce, as it were. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, Kent, it's an interesting place. It's a lot different to Northern Ireland. It's a lot flatter than Northern Ireland, which is interesting. Like I said, it's more rural. Well, not more rural, but it's very rural. And there's just a wide area that I haven't even looked at yet. And really, my issue here is that I don't really know the area, and it's a slow process. And to be honest, there is a wee bit of apprehension about where I can go and what I can do. You know, it's different, I suppose. And the fact that I don't have any sort of like support network here, like no friends, no family, as backup, is in case something goes wrong, no one to leave, like no one who knows the area as well. I don't really have any contacts, anyone that knows the area to give me advice on where to go. I don't have any buddies to come with me to help with camera work, or even just take part in a camp. It's quite a different experience than what I was having in Northern Ireland, where I was having friends come with me in some of my expeditions, things like that. So yeah, it's different, and I'm looking forward to exploring it, which I'm going to be making a point now of actually getting out at some point and just exploring. And there's some really cool things like that England really offer me, which is being able to get an air rifle, which I am looking at getting very soon. Money being an issue here, so as soon as I save up enough pennies to get one, I'm going to get a nice little 22 or 22 rifle, or 22 air rifle, which I'm looking to get some permission to go, for looking for game, basically, which is something that in Northern Ireland I would never ever be able to do, because you have to go through the full firearms or FAC process to get an air rifle in Northern Ireland, which to me is just pointless, because you have to go through the same process to get an air rifle as you do to get a normal 22 LR rifle. And to me it just seemed, in Northern Ireland I was just like, I may as well just try and go through the process to get a 22 LR rifle rather than an air rifle. But whereas here, it's just like you can go into a shop, as long as you're over 18 you can buy a rifle, which is a good thing. I suppose it makes it a lot more accessible, and it sort of makes you realise that it's like in Northern Ireland it might be a bit too strict, but there's a whole host of issues there. But it's one thing I'm looking forward to doing, and I did actually try and eat some squirrel recently. That was courtesy of Star Valley, or Star, I think it's pronounced, Star Valley Game, which I'm going to get some more tomorrow from the farmer's market. It was interesting meat. I made a stew with it, so I kind of got I got a taste for it, and that's kind of why I want to get an air rifle, because I want to get more of it myself. And I suppose it's also part of the whole survival prepping skill, is being able to find game with an air rifle maybe, or any other means, being able to get that game, dress it, and clean it, and basically prepare it for food. So one of the very useful skills, which some in Northern Ireland I would never be able to do, because of the legal implications of going through a whole process, which involves being part of a club, which involves getting the gun safe, which is not possible because I don't own my own home, and even in England I don't own my own home, so I can't get a shotgun, but I can get an air rifle, which is a really, really good option for me at this moment in time. From what I've seen, most preppers in the UK tend to go for air rifles rather than proper guns, just because I think because of the cost and the fact that an air rifle is a lot more, the sort of spring piston ones are a lot more reliable, I suppose, and it's cheap to get the ammunition, whereas rail guns, they're expensive, they're difficult, they obtain, you have to go through a whole process with them, which puts it beyond the availability of a lot of people like myself. I wouldn't be able to get it, because pretty sure the landlord wouldn't be too happy with me drilling big massive holes into the wall and install a gun safe. So there is that aspect. But I'm enjoying my time here, and I can't wait to get out into the woods really and just have a look and see what England has to offer, because it's a beautiful country. Some of the woodlands here are amazing, and it's just the size of them that really gets me. Is some of the woods near me are just unbelievably huge compared to like my local wood that I was using in Northern Ireland. So there is that sort of almost like a wilderness aspect. I know it's not really wilderness in the grand scheme of things, but for me it almost feels like wilderness in a sense because it's so wide and vast. But yeah, I mean it's been an interesting couple of months, very busy couple of months. I do apologise again for not getting the videos out. I am conscious that, you know, I have an audience now, I suppose, and you know, I'm letting you guys down by not getting these videos done. But hopefully, this is the beginning of a new period of videos, and I'll try and get them out as often as I can. I mean, I'm going to say now that I really doubt that one every week is going to happen. It's just not practical with my job at the moment. It sort of renders, you know, that impossible. Weekday videos are probably going to be very unlikely as well. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll try and do a wee bit more sort of in my house sort of videos, like gear reviews, unboxing videos. I don't know. I really don't know where I'm going to go with that. But it may enable me to get more videos out for you guys if I'm doing sort of things in my own home. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not always about outdoors. So I guess this is just a way for me to provide more videos, is to do them inside. But I mean, despite the fact that I haven't really been outdoors at all in the last couple of months, it hasn't been a quiet time for me in terms of equipment, and reading is one of the things that I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of reading. While I haven't been able to actually get out and practice it, I've been reading up on a lot of new skills and ideas for my kit. And you know, even just like in the house, I've been, you know, assembling my kit, changing it, thinking it over, putting new pouches in and things like that. So one of the things I got was I got a whole host of new kit, some really, really interesting pieces of gear, which, you know, are useful in their own way. Some of them I'm still not entirely sure how to actually properly use, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with them, and well, I'll give you a wee chat about them now. So one of the things I decided to get was this, the Ordnance Survey map of Canterbury and the Isle of Thanet, which is where I'm based. I actually live in the Isle of Thanet now, which is an interesting place in that it doesn't really have anything outdoorsy in it at all, which is really unfortunate because I would have loved to, you know, just be able to, you know, go to a wee forest around the corner, which is something that I had back in Northern Ireland, and now I don't have that opportunity. But Canterbury, there's tons of stuff out by Canterbury, so I'm gonna have a wee look at this map at some point, and you know, just try and get exploring basically. But like I said, I needed to get one of these because I just do not know the area at all. I only got this the other day, and I haven't really given it a proper full look. But in terms of where I'm based in the Isle of Thanet, there's absolutely nothing that I can find in terms of like outdoor activities, which is really disappointing, but just part of the thing, part of living here, I suppose. But I mean, if you're into, if you ever wanted to do sort of like kayaking around the coast, I mean, I live literally about a quarter of a mile from the, not maybe even less, from the seafront, so I could probably get onto the beach from there, but it's not something I would really be overly keen on, so probably not. But Ordnance Survey map, very, very useful. And one of the things I've been doing a lot of reading, like I said, and I've actually been reading a series of books by Creek Stewart. I can't believe I call him Crete. No, it's Creek Stewart. And basically it's a series of 3 books he has. First one is the Bug Out Survival Skills. And this book has been very interesting because it basically explains pretty much every sort of like skill that you would need, and it's broken up into, for, you know, mentality, survival mentality, gathering water, building shelter, firecraft, you know, tools and things like that. What kind of tools to use. All sorts of things. I mean, the beauty of it is some of it you may know, but it's just full of a lot of really interesting ideas. Things that you may not necessarily have thought of. The only thing is, what actually it applies to the entire series of books, is that they are very much written from an American perspective. So some of it you may, for a UK based person, you would maybe need to discount some of the information, but overall it's actually quite useful, I think, because like I said, it has a lot of really interesting ideas in it. And then similarly, the bug out vehicle, build the perfect bug out vehicle. Again, this is very much from a US perspective, and very much assumes like you'll be driving around in a 4x4 pickup truck or something like that. But he does, to his credit, Creek actually does go into a lot of detail on alternate methods of transport, even including things like aircraft, which would be amazing. Like he actually gives a chapter based on microlight aircraft, which is quite interesting. But then he also has like a whole chapter on like bug out bikes and things like that, which is something that I'm actually going to be looking into, is building a bug out bike or a survival bike, as it were. It's something that's been on my mind for a long time, but knowing that one thing about England is that compared to Northern Ireland, provision for cycling is infinitely better. Cycling in Northern Ireland on country lanes is just, it's incredibly dangerous. It was something that I would never ever do. I used to actually use my bike to get to my local woods on some occasions, depending on the weather obviously, and usually I would just stay on the footpath, whereas here it does seem like there's a better provision, especially in and around Canterbury. There's a better provision for cycling, so it's something that I might look into, is using his book, building a bug out bike. And then build the perfect bug out bag. Now again, it's written from an American perspective, but there's a lot of really interesting information, and he has things like these tables, which you can copy and use for your own use, which is something that I'm going to look into doing. It's full of things like at-home exercises, so it's like things that you can do at home to practice your skills rather than heading out into the forests and things like that. He does have a wee bit in this book about vehicles, but then he goes into he goes into his own book about that. One of the things that I would discount is like the stuff that he has on like personal protection. He talks about like using 10-22s and pump action shotguns and revolvers, which obviously being in England is completely not applicable at all for most people. It has things on communication, like what kinds of communication gear. Again, very much an American centered side of things. So he talks about, like American radio channels and things like that, which you aren't really going to have much use for at all. National Weather Radio System, I don't think we have an equivalent of that in the UK. We may well do, I don't know of it. If anyone knows, let me know, have a comment. But in general, it's a very good thing. I mean, it's interesting that some of the stuff that he recommends is actually non-American, so it's pretty good then, because he's talking about like Mora knives and things like that. But like I said, most of it is very American centered, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to get outside the box. Let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, that's about it. But like there's some good wee tips, like baby food, things for babies and things like that. It's full of some very, very interesting information. So that's primarily what I've been reading, is those books by Creek. So I would highly recommend them. I'll put a link below so that you can go check them out. Highly recommend them. They're very easy to read, and he's not like one of these sort of gun-ho, I don't know, mountain men, survival nuts up in the mountains or anything like that. He's actually very down to earth, sort of like, let's not get into confrontations with people, that's your best protection. So that's an attitude that I really like. in my survival books is that, you know, the best defense is not to be seen. So that's a really the stuff that in his books is really good. So some of the other stuff I got, apart from like books and things, I've actually got a new mess kit. This is a Yugoslavian issue mess kit. Comes with a wee pouch. This is a Yugoslavian issue mess kit. Let's see it there. Yep. And yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's a bit fiddly, but it's like an all-in-one kit. So it comes. If I can open it. See, this is the problem with it because it's quite difficult to open. But it actually has a water bottle in it, and it comes with this like wee plastic cup, and then this sort of like metal pan which you can put over the fire to cook things, and then you can eat out of this, and you can use this. Like the lid is actually like a cup, which is kind of cool. Whenever I got these were absolutely disgusting. I mean, it still has that army surplus smell, which, you know, I've tried to wash out, but it just won't go away. These have obviously been sitting on some, you know, Serbian or Croatian army base shelves for, you know, 15 years or something like that. It's very light, and, you know, it fits into the wee pouch provided, and it has belt loops which you can fit on like a standard pistol belt, which is really handy. I do like it, but like whenever you buy these, you can find them in all kinds of conditions. Like I said, the one that I got was obviously like, it wasn't just storage marks, it was covered in like, the water bottle was covered in filth. Like I don't know what the heck that was. It was almost like a layer of scum, and it took lots of boiling water and very liquid to get it out, but it still has that army surplus smell, which I can't really get rid of. I haven't actually used these, but it's just something that I got as kind of like an extra backup item. I may keep it in the car as kind of like a backup piece of kit. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, but handy piece of kit. You can get them on eBay. I think I got mine on eBay for about £7. There are some that come with like knife, fork, and spoons, and that will push the cost up more. And the better the condition, the higher the cost as well, which is kind of like the standard thing with army surplus gear. But in terms of the quality, sometimes they can be like, they can look good on the outside, but once you open them up, they're covered in like weird stains and oil marks and just all kinds of like disgusting growths, basically, that have piled up over the years of being stored in damp, wet conditions. I guess it's kind of what happens when you buy army surplus, but I mean, I do like it, but I would never let it replace my USGI see-through water bottle and cup and stove. Just no way. And then one of the other items I got is this, the Gerber Recon Torch, which I got this for Christmas from my partner. You know, it's a fantastic wee torch. Don't know if you can see it there. It's got red, and you just turn that. No, green, blue. So it's actually like a signal torch, and you know, it's very bright, as you can see there. It's small. I wear it on my belt pouch along with my small knife and multi-tool. It's a fantastic piece of kit, and you can get these on Amazon for about £20, which is really good. And it comes with like a wee belt clip there as well, so you can put it in like pockets and things. Fantastic piece of kit, very light, very small, but incredibly bright, and also has like the different filters, which is a great touch. Especially the red light, which you can use, you know, for night reading, you know, like maps and things like that. And it doesn't disrupt your night vision either, which is great. And one of the other major additions this Christmas, well, I mean, it's almost a year since I've had it, but I haven't got using it because of the whole moving to England thing. Was this? This is a well, it's not actually a GoPro, but it's like a Savvi. Basically, it's like a GoPro, but it's not a GoPro. And I got this for Christmas. I haven't used it yet, but it is a really nice. Well, I haven't used it in the field, but It is lovely. It takes some really nice wee videos, and you know it comes with, like, all these different pieces of kit. Like I've got here the head mount, so you can go like that, and you know just like that there. It's great. It can take some really good wee videos. The only thing is it's kind of like what you would call like bubble vision or fisheye vision, and so the edges are a bit rounded. But apart from that, you know it's basically a GoPro, and it comes in a waterproof case and everything, and it was less than like 50 quid. So what more do you want really? And you know it can take a memory card and you know all that there. So that's what I've got fitted in it. And the idea is that I'm going to pair this up with my camera that I'm filming this on, and sort of use the GoPro for sort of more like moving about action shots, you know, close-up videos and things of kit, and like mirror and light and a fire. And hopefully that will reduce the amount of time that I need to set up shots and things. But the primary camera for static is going to be the camera that I'm filming on now, which is a fantastic camera. Again, I got it for Christmas, and I really like it. It's a great piece of kit. And yeah, I think that's about it really. I mean, that's the sort of new additions. I'm looking to get a few more things ordered in the next couple of weeks, and we'll go through them. And once I get the air rifle, we'll definitely be doing a video specifically on that as well, and we'll just see how it goes really. But just wanted to let you know that I actually am back, and I'm going to be basically making an effort to get videos done, and just try and explore the English countryside and share that with you, let you see how I'm doing. And also, you know, this is just I don't know what you would call it, like a town hall notice or whatever, but basically, if anyone is based in or around Kent, please let me know, because I need advice, and if anyone would ever want to like go out for a camping trip or something like that, I would greatly appreciate it, because basically I'm here and I don't really know my arse from my elbow in terms of places to go, and any help I can get would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I mean, just send a comment, send a message, whatever you want, let me know, and I would greatly appreciate it, because like I said, no idea where to go, where's a good place, where's a place not to go. I mean, that's obviously just as important as knowing where to go, and you know, just tips, things like that, fishing grounds maybe, and places I can get permission to shoot an air rifle would be very handy, because apparently I've heard some people have had quite a bit of difficulty finding permission to do vermin control, which, you know, squirrels and rabbits basically. So yeah, I mean, this is it. It's been good doing it again. I actually for you know, I'm amazed at how much I enjoy these videos. You know, it brings a lot of good memories back, and it's good to talk about something other than work. So yeah, I mean, it's like these videos are very much a way for me to escape what I'm doing during the week, and a way for me to unwind. And yeah, I mean, it's just great to share the experience with you guys, and just let me know anything, any sort of ideas, tips, requests even. You know, if anyone wants to give me a request to go out and do a specific thing in a video, let me know. I'll be very happy to oblige. Even challenges, if anyone wants to give a challenge. I mean, my skill set isn't high as it should be, but again, I'm still learning, and if anyone wants to give me that, that'd be great. I'll go out and give it a go. And yeah, one thing that's on the horizon, and I'm looking at doing also just before we go, is that I'm looking at doing a budget £30 survival kit, and basically I'm going to be trying to put a kit together for £30 and then actually use it in the field for 24 hours. Only allowed to use that kit, none of the stuff that I have with me. Basically what I'm trying to do is prove a point, because one of my friends back in Northern Ireland said that he found that the cost of doing bushcraft was too much. And you know, I haven't been interested in bushcraft for many years, longer than I've been doing videos. I kind of know that yes, you can spend an absolute fortune on gear, but you can do it on the cheap as well. So basically my idea is that I'm going to try and prove a point by building this kit together for £30. I mean, £30 seems like a fairly small amount, but I'm going to try and do a lot with that money, and hopefully we'll get some interesting results. So that's all for me for now. Let me know any ideas, suggestions, advice, comments, etc. Just leave one below, and I'll try and answer it as quickly as I can. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for the follows. Sorry, not follows. This isn't Twitter. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate it greatly, and I'll see you in the next video.